you think you do, okay? You deserve the life you think you do. And what do I mean by that? In life, it can be so easy to get caught up with what everybody else is doing, what everybody else is saying, and sometimes feel like you are behind in life. I'm speaking from experience, okay? And sometimes when that happens, you get into your head and you start thinking, maybe I don't deserve this, or maybe I haven't done enough work to be there, or maybe I'm not ready for this. And you start thinking that you deserve a certain type of life. And oftentimes, we downplay what we really deserve. We minimize ourselves. We look at where we are versus where we want to be. And we wonder if we are truly worthy of that. But I'm here to let you know that you deserve exactly the life you think you do. You deserve it. Because if it wasn't in your consciousness, if you didn't have that desire, you wouldn't have a North Star. That desire, that thought process exists because somewhere deep inside of you, you know that that's exactly what you deserve. Regardless if you are seeing things lining up in this current day, in this current reality, ultimately, if it's in your mind, if it's in your thoughts, if it's in your heart, if you desire it, if it gets you excited, it's because you deserve it. The only thing is that you really need to tap in and start asking yourself different questions. Questions that are going to open up your mindset, questions that are going to reveal to you how to get from point A to point B, and really trust yourself and know that you are capable of taking the right steps and doing the right things to align you with exactly where you want to be, because you absolutely do deserve the life you think you do. You do, baby. You do, you do, you do, you do. But yeah, what's up? How you doing? Welcome. Welcome back if you're returning. My name is Nadine, aka Entice. And today you're going to get a whole bunch of yapping from me because we have things to discuss, okay? After my 30 days of live, I took a little time to come back to self. And I wanted to pop on and give you guys some updates for those that were curious about what was going on and what to expect. So I'm here with the updates. And I love the impromptu lifestyle. The last time I was on live, I mentioned that I think I'm just going to continue with the impromptu lives. It just kind of works for me. And previously, I was trying to get on during a time that worked for me. And it was typically in the evening. But I said, you know what? I want to try to do some daytime lives. So here we are on this Good Friday. It's in the afternoon where I'm at. That I would jump on and just vibe with you and just share some of the updates and some of the things that's been going on and some of the things that's been in my mind. And yeah, vibe together. Definitely feel free to say hey in the chat. Let me know where you're coming from. Thank you for tuning into this yapping session. And I shared the title at the beginning of like, you definitely deserve the life that you think you do. And that was a thought that's kind of been playing in my head, especially today. And just some realizations I've been making within myself. So I'm just going to be connecting the topic to just certain experiences I've been having and certain things I've been noticing in my own life and tying into the updates that I'm going to be sharing. So where to even start? Okay, let's start with this. Today, let me know if y'all are on Substack. Let me know. Because I today finally decided to get on Substack. And Substack actually looks very, very interesting. It looks very interesting. And as soon as I said it, I get a Substack notification. Okay, so Substack has been something that's been popping up in my consciousness. Hey, Anne Marie, what's up? What's up? And I'm like, okay, let me go ahead and finally see what the hype is in regards to Substack. And I can see the appeal because Substack is basically bringing y'all everything all together, okay? It's bringing you long form content, short form content in both video and written. And then to top it off, it's also giving you live. So Substack is coming with a lot of really great things, and I think that is very neat. So I love that. And my experience on Substack has been, in the short time that I've checked it out, is that it's a good place for thinkers, for people that like to dive deep. And that's what I found so far. Mind you, I've literally only been on there for a couple of hours. Hi, Salima. I'm from Canada. Where are you from? So that is the first update. Substack in the house. I don't know what I'm going to do yet, okay? Because there's a lot of moving parts. And let me back up and give you a little bit of a backstory for those of y'all that don't know my story. I have been on the interwebs for a minute. Okay, this is not your girl's first rodeo. But I have taken pauses and breaks and time away from the internet at the same time. So more recently, I was doing a lot of women empowerment, women mentorship. I was mentoring. I had a program called the Self-Love Pact. And that was truly life-changing work for me. I was able to help a lot of women, especially, and see them transform. And that really just set my soul on fire. And I feel like I was moving in that direction of exactly the life I know that I deserve. You feel what I'm saying? Okay, Anne-Marie and Salima, both from Canada. I'm currently in Ontario. I'm originally from Alberta. And that's where this story is taking place, in Alberta. I was out there and a lot of stuff was going on, building my business. Heidi, is that how you pronounce it? Haiti? Hi, Haiti. What's up? Building my business, working on myself, getting into a really nice flow. However, if we take a few steps before that, I had a dark night of the soul situation. And that dark night of the soul situation, I've talked about it previously. It was rough, okay? And this reminds me actually of something that I saw on Substack. This lady posted, it was my only post on Substack is a restack. And I can't remember the name of the person that wrote it, but basically she said, life is a combination of having a spark and losing your spark. So it's like a continual cycle of having a spark and losing it. And that really sat with me when I seen that this morning. Hi, is it Shania? Hey, what's up? And that really sat with me. I was like, oh, wait a minute, right? So back to the story. So I went through this dark night of the soul situation. And prior to that, I felt like I was in my spark. Life was lifing. Life felt good. I was building a different business at the time and just really working towards my dreams, moving towards the life that I know I deserve, right? And dark night of the soul happens. Life seems like it falls apart. Nothing's really going the way that I expected it to go. Experiencing deep heartbreak, experiencing pain, suffering, unlike anything I've ever known before. I was like, I didn't know I could feel this much pain and hurt. It was rough, right? But life goes on, you heal, and one of the things that my mom said to me, which in the moment I was like, Mom, you don't know what you're talking about. But parents be knowing exactly what they're talking about. And she said, listen, in 6 months, you're going to look back at the same situation and you're going to laugh. You're going to laugh. And I was like, you tripping? Because I feel like I'm dying. Oh, hey, Shania, thank you. I appreciate it. And thanks for the likes. Thank you guys for being here. And let me tell you something. My mom was correct because literally 6 months later, I was back doing my thing, working on my business, helping women across the globe, really, which was fascinating, which was fun, which was exciting, which was me being in my purpose and literally working towards the life that I know I deserve, right? And I was doing a lot of things, exciting, feeling the vibes. And then burnout happened. And I've talked about this in previous lives about burnout, like how I realized I was experiencing burnout, how I recovered from burnout, all of that. So you can definitely check that out if you have more questions, if you're more interested in learning about that journey and seeing if it's something that's resonating with you. Definitely feel free to check that out. So I was going through burnout and I didn't even know I was going through burnout. And my mom had moved to Ontario some years past. And this is like after COVID. So I hadn't seen my mom. She had visited me in 2019 before COVID. So then after COVID, I'm like, okay, yo, let me go and check on my mom and see what's good, because I haven't seen her through this whole COVID thing. So this is like 2022 now. I'm like, let me go and visit my mom. So I come to Ontario to visit my mom, and that's when I realized how burnt out I was. I slept like every day for days. Like I was just so tired, and I didn't realize how tired I was. And I was really just regulating my nervous system. At the time, did I know I was regulating my nervous system? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. However, I started resting, and through all of this experience, I was also, still doing my meditation, still doing my journaling, really focused on elevating and stepping into that life that I know I deserve. But I needed to recalibrate, and I started going into hermit mode. So when I think it was like maybe about 2 or 3 months before I ended up going to Ontario, I actually stop posting on social. It got to the point where just getting on Instagram. Mind you, a lot of the contacts that I had, a lot of the business partners, friends, colleagues, all of that stuff that I had developed while I was building my business and mentoring women and helping women build their business, because I was also working on my digital marketing business, helping individuals to start their business online. And it was something that felt really, really good. Right? I was happy to be walking in my purpose and helping other people walk in their purpose as well. Right? So not realizing how burnt out I was, I took some time off of the socials, took a step back from the interwebs. Hey, Daxton, what's up? Or is it Dakaria? What's up? What's up? So I decided to take some time off of the interwebs. So no more going on Instagram. Honestly, what ended up happening, and I've mentioned this in a previous live too, I was in the process of creating a challenge. So I usually do these little challenges and I do want to at some point get back to these. If this is something you're interested in, you like little challenges, let me know, because that will probably motivate me a little bit more to start looking at that. But I was working on a business challenge to help people get re-excited about their business. And isn't it funny? In life, oftentimes, the things that you need yourself are the things that you help other people with. And sometimes imposter syndrome can make you feel like you're not qualified for it. But again, if you have a desire, if you have a thought process, if you have something that keeps playing in your mind, that keeps showing up for you, chances are it's leading you to exactly the life that you know you deserve to live, right? So I'm working on this challenge, and as I'm working on this challenge, I didn't even get to finish it, because I get on social, just Instagram at the time, and it felt so noisy. I started getting super sensitive to everything around me, not realizing this is my nervous system recalibrating itself. So I'm like, okay, I just need to take a week off social. So I took a week off Instagram, and then it was 2 weeks off Instagram. And then next thing I know, I'm off Instagram for like 3 months. And I'm sitting here thinking I should probably get back on Instagram. But I just didn't feel ready. It didn't feel like the right time. So obviously I'm not going on Instagram, and I'm not promoting my business. So naturally, in the form of business, anybody that has a business, side hustle, whatever, if you're not promoting, if you're not putting yourself out there, eventually things start slowing down. I did have clients that I was working with that I did continue to work with, but after spending some time in Ontario and just like resting, I started realizing I just need a vibe out. So I end up taking like 2 years. Yeah, about 2 years off of social. So I'm not on Instagram, nothing. A lot of things are moving in the background. I think for about a year, I ended up just really focusing on myself, full-fledged hermit mode. And this is from someone who was posting every single day, going live every single week, working with clients, creating different types of content. I had a group at the time that I was managing, and there was a lot of moving parts happening in my life. And it got to a point where now there's like nothing going on except for me pouring into myself. And I slowly started coming out of that space. And every time I started coming out of that space, it felt weird. It felt like a push and pull, right? Because it's like, okay, I'm starting over, new chapter, to the point I started a whole new YouTube channel, started a whole new Instagram, started everything new, fresh. Okay, thinking, okay, this is good, fresh start, let me get back into it. But for whatever reason, I kept feeling like something just don't feel like the way it's supposed to feel. Something don't feel like the way it's supposed to feel. And it was actually today I started noticing that I think a lot of what that was is when you take a break, when you take a pause, for me being in hermit mode, and you isolate yourself, or you just change your routine, you change your way of being, you change your way of living. In that process, I ended up deciding to stay in Ontario, and I went back to Alberta, took care of some loose ends I had over there, and then finally like fully came back to Ontario. And then now I'm in the process of trying to settle, trying to find a place that I like, getting to know people. And I started got really excited with this newfound energy, newfound vision, connected with an individual that seemed like-minded, okay? After not really working with anybody or anything for the past year and a bit. And we decided, okay, we're going to start building this business together. Whew. Well, that was a whole other year of almost, I guess, a year and a half of just like, I thought it was it, but it absolutely wasn't it. And it actually ended up being more exhausting than it needed to be. But in the process, I did learn new skills. In the process, I did get more clarity about what I want and what I deserve. And after that, then I had a loss in my life. My eldest sister passed away, and meanwhile, I'm working with a different brand, working on that, things are getting exciting. So a lot of different things are going on. And in all of that, not a lot of time to really sit, not really a lot of time to process, right? So the holidays come, I get to process a little bit, and I still feel like I'm taking these steps, but it just feels like it's not necessarily going the way I anticipated it would go. And today was the first day that I really had an opportunity to like connect a couple dots that I hadn't really connected before. And some of those dots are exactly that. What I've been saying is that your life, the life that you desire, you can absolutely have that. But it's your belief that you can have it that prevents you from it. And sometimes that belief is rooted in what you've already experienced. So you're limiting yourself based on your past experiences instead of allowing yourself to grow into new experiences. So as I was sharing what I've been experiencing over the past few years, and ultimately what that has been teaching me and where I connected the dots today, and also with just sharing what that post said earlier about that's just kind of how life is. Life is a bunch of false starts. Life is a bunch of moments of joy and moments of sorrow. Life is a combination of all of these things. And if we allow what we are seeing and what we are experiencing in the present moment to dictate how we view ourselves, to dictate what we think we deserve, then we'll forever keep holding ourselves back. We'll forever keep ourselves stuck in the same position. If we keep allowing situations and circumstances that are happening in the present moment to dictate what we feel we truly deserve. Because ultimately, all of these things that we go through are learning experiences. All the things that we go through are meant to help us to grow, help us to gain clarity, help us to move forward, help us to have understanding about what it is we truly want. And the purpose of it is not to keep us stuck where we are. The purpose of it is to inspire us and to help push us towards that which we truly desire. Now, with that being said, that road, that journey is not in the slightest easy at all. For most people, it's not. But it's about wanting to approach the situation with clarity and new vision and new excitement, which can be difficult and challenging if we're focused on what's not moving the way that we want it to move. Okay, so that was a whole lot. But I hope that this is inspiring someone and helping them to think a little bit different as I'm sharing my experiences and kind of tying it back to the topic that as we move through life, sometimes the realization is that it's not about where I'm at. It's about where I could be. And asking ourselves, where are we keeping ourselves stuck? Asking ourselves, where are we standing in our own way? This seems to be a thread lately coming up. And one of the things that really stuck with me today as I was pondering my situation is that one of the challenges that I feel like I've had is the fact that I have been an expert and now I'm starting over as a beginner, right? Because obviously when I took a pause, when I'm like, okay, I'm not on social, I'm taking like a 2-year hiatus, life kept moving. The whole world didn't pause when I paused. When I paused and I took time to go inward and focus on myself and do my healing and regulate my nervous system and do all those good things, AI was out here doing exactly what it said it was going to do, okay? Social media kept doing its thing. Everybody else keep living their life. Things kept moving forward. And I know for myself, I felt like, okay, coming back, I need to be on and ready to go. Like, keep up. But honestly, that just leads to more burnout. That just leads to more discouragement. That just leads to more frustration. So even though we know that we absolutely do deserve the life that we think we deserve, we need to be able to give ourselves grace in the moments where grace is necessary. We need to remember that we are human and perfection is a myth. And we are in charge of this life that we are living in regards to how we view it, how we think about it, how we experience it. So I hope that's been helpful to somebody. But let's get in with a couple of these updates. The last time I was on, I unboxed the alchemy beverage that I got. I've not yet done a morning ritual. I have it in my head. And see, this is one of the things. I have it in my head, like this idea of how I'm going to be like, okay, let's do this ritual together. I'm going to get on live. I'm going to do that whole thing. I just have not opened it yet. So hopefully this weekend, maybe I can come on and do another live. Not tomorrow, maybe on Sunday. We'll see. I try not to make these promises just because I'm realizing that, as I just finished saying, I'm still kind of like recalibrating and getting into the flow of things and just trying to give myself grace. And it's been interesting, but I'm grateful because I feel like I am having some momentum. So that was the second thing that I wanted to say, the second update. And And yeah, I think that's it. So anyways, I have a few things that I'm going to be working on right now. I have some editing to do for a couple videos, and I am just going to continue moving forward. I hope that this live inspired you. I hope sharing a bit of my story inspired you. I don't know how long I'm going to keep these lives up. I'm actually going to restructure my page at some point, but if you are here and you've made it to this point and you're listening, regardless if that's live or on the replay, I thank you for being here. Definitely share in the comments anything that resonated with you. If there was a part that you're like, yo, I felt that, that's me. Let me know. And yeah, just know you're not alone. You deserve the life that you think you deserve. It's possible for you. I'm rooting for you. I believe in you. Sending you so much love. And I'm out. Until next time. Peace.